and welcome. You're watching the Karnataka exit polls, and what we are trying to do over here is to give you, our viewers, a sense of what various exit polls have said. We've not done any ourselves, and if you take a look at what the others are predicting now, you'll probably get a good idea why. Because they're all hedging, and therefore while some have suggested that the Congress is ahead, others have said that the BJP is ahead, but the hedge, the margin is absolutely huge. So let's start from the top. If you look at News Nation CGS, it's 114 to the BJP, 86 to the Congress, 21 to the JDS. So here they are predicting a simple majority for the BJP. Republic TV, again, they have hedged in a big way. News Nation hasn't hedged, which is interesting. We've got a new one actually. We've got ABP News and C Voter, BJP at between 66 to 86. So the BJP is low over here. The Congress potentially is at 81 to 101. The JDS between 20 and 27. So this has placed the BJP lower, the Congress higher, but then, you know, it's within that same band, broadly speaking, in certain respects. So it's difficult to say, but the Congress by C Voter is still way below a majority mark by itself. News Nation, I've already mentioned, they're saying BJP all the way, simple majority. Republic TV has placed the BJP between 85 and 100, and they've placed the Congress, let's just have that up again, if it can just stay on the screen, between 85 and 100, 94 and 108 for Republic TV, 94 to 117 for the BJP for the Suvarna News poll, 91 to 106 for Congress. So I mean, 94 to 117 and 91 to 106. Again, a huge hedge over there. Before I introduce my panelists, let me just go across to my colleague Veera Raghav, who's also with us. So Veera Raghav, other than one poll, which has actually come out with a single number for the BJP, Congress, JDS and others, the others have all hedged in a big way. Go ahead.
Yeah, they've hedged, but to be honest, Vishnu, anything below 120 would not be seen as a victory for the Congress. I mean, it's not just about crossing the 112 mark or getting close to it, as it is for the BJP. So that aside, Vishnu, I wonder if these polls are also predicting a vote share percentage. That would be just interesting to watch out for if they are pulling up vote share percentages. But at the moment, it seems like all of them in the gray area of a hung assembly, except maybe one or two, which seem to be one predicting a clear win for the BJP and the other two, which say that the the upper limit for the Congress would mean a clear majority of over 112 seats. None predicting more than 120 for either party. So that's interesting to look at.
Yeah, none. So Sanjay Kumar with us, Desh Ratna Nigam as well. And we've got Aarti with us, we've got Tushar, we've got Smita, and we've got our other panelists who are also with us. Let me just come to you first. What do you make of this? It's all over the place.
What do I make of these exit poll predictions?
No, okay, firstly, pointed question. A lot of them are hedging. What does a hedge as large as this actually imply for us?
I think there is a clear indication that the election was not one-sided. At least if you go by the findings of these exit polls, elections are not one-sided. There was a close contest. It is very difficult to say in this close contest whether BJP is ahead of the Congress or whether Congress is ahead of the BJP. So these polls give a clear indication of a close fight between BJP and the Congress.
Okay. Desh Ratna Nigam?
Well, if this is the kind of exit polls we are getting...
Then there's a kingmaker involved, right?
Kingmaker involved, certainly, but I might also open an agency.
You might also...
Open an agency.
You might also...
That's a very good idea.
But it's a close election.
Sure.
In terms of vote shares.
Yeah.
But in terms of seat, we have seen places where, like previously in Madhya Pradesh, where BJP had a 0.5 vote share more, but got lesser seat. So in terms of vote share, I can agree that this is a very close thing, but the possibility and how well the parties have handled seat-wise, that will show that closeness of the vote share, which party will take the higher share. And there is a possibility of one of the party nearing a majority. That's a possibility. That's a clear possibility.
Of the BJP joins us. Mr. Ashok, how do you actually look at this? A handful of them are actually suggesting that, you'd have a simple majority. News Nation is saying a simple majority. The upper band of Suvarna News seems to suggest that you might. On the other hand, a few are saying that the Congress is marginally ahead of you. But by and large, this seems to suggest that you are ahead. But, if there's a broad reading, it is just that what Sanjay mentioned here, that this is not one-sided at all, and that this is going to be a close contest. Would you accept that?
No, the exit poll shows different opinions. One's exit poll BJP, one exit poll Congress, and JDS also playing the role in the exit poll. But we are confident. After Modi rallies in Karnataka, after Amit Shah ji rally in Karnataka, within 10 days, big swing in coastal area and especially in the Bangalore and north region of Karnataka. I think BJP will crash 113 seats, magic number.
Okay.
There is no doubt.
Okay, Mr. Ashok, given that the exit polls seem to be predicting hung assembly, are you all set for another round of resort politics, A, in Karnataka, and B, you've just come out of a campaign against the mighty D.K. Shivkumar in Kanakpura. What do you think your prediction for Kanakpura is?
We are not going any resort. But the Congress and JDS people, they like go to resort. Yeah, we don't. We are a national party.
But all political parties like resorts.
Yeah.
And the BJP is no stranger to resorts either. We can name several examples in the recent past. I just wanted to ask the Congress a question, get their reaction. Rajiv Gowda with us. Mr. Gowda, it was widely believed that the, things were going the Congress's way. These exit poll results indicate that that may not necessarily be the case, while you may be narrowly ahead in some. How do you read this?
I think the word that you used, hedging, reflects what the exit polls are doing, the pollsters are doing. They seem to be very, very, very afraid of telling the truth, which is really that the pulse of the people is towards the Congress. You've seen opinion poll numbers from hardly a few days ago, and you saw the level of anger that there was against the BJP. You had 57% of the population that was, of the people polled, who stated that they were angry and wanted a change. Suddenly, 20% of them will come and switch just because the Prime Minister or a Home Minister came and did some road shows. Please, these are really a variety of...
Well, Mr. Gowda, one poll seems to have revised their data, and it seems to suggest that the Congress is virtually, if you look at the upper band, could possibly be forming the government almost on its own, which is ABP has revised their data, 83 to 95 for the BJP and the Congress, between 100 and 112, but the JDS at 21 to 29. So this is the one exit poll which seems to suggest that you may be within striking range.
See, Vishnu, in our case, whatever we've been able to gather from the ground, what numbers we're getting from our polling booths and our inputs from various MLA candidates suggests that these are massive underestimates. We are way ahead, and we are very confident of forming a government on our own. So I don't think that this trend is anything relevant. It's not capturing the kind of sentiment that's there in favor of the Congress and against the BJP that's across the state. And basically, you've all done these shows. You understood the pulse of the people. This is not capturing the actual trends that you will see on election day, on counting day.
Sure. Veera, go ahead.
No, I just quickly want to ask Rajiv one question. Given the numbers that you're seeing on the exit poll, and he's not a typical politician to rubbish exit polls completely, I hope. But Rajiv, quickly,
I'm
given
not sure
the numbers that you're
mind,
seeing,
Veera.
no, given the numbers that you see, does it come as a shock for the Congress? Because you guys have been talking about 130, 140, and there was a sense of confidence, but inside there was a sense of nervousness. Does this make you more nervous? Honest answer.
No, it basically is reflective of the same sentiment that made sure that we do not get complacent, that we would basically...
But polls are over, sir. This is the time, but polls are over. their exit poll results.
Yeah. That's why even before, when you kept asking us these questions, we kept saying we're going to win with a simple majority, with maybe 20, 25 seats more than the simple majority, which will help us protect the government from poaching. And then we also said that regardless of that, we are going to act and behave as if we are borderline, because we cannot afford to let our guard down. We can't let last minute changes happen.
No, but
And that's
Rajiv, is
really-
that the real worry, that there may have been last second changes?
I
In the
actually don't
last
think
10
so at
days,
all.
whatever the factors were, it worked against you.
No. I think that's very much media hype, Vishnu. It's not the story on the ground, and that's not the story.
Okay,
that's
so we'll
coming
see how that plays
on
out.
content.
Shugata had a point to make. Go ahead.
The final voter turnout
Yeah.
has come to 65.69,
That's
which is
well lower than last
far
time.
lesser than last time.
No, but it gets updated.
If
It
even
gets
if it gets
Shugata.
updated, say 2 or 3% up,
No,
it's
no,
still
it can get updated
It could
up
be,
to
it could get
10%
much higher updated.
Right,
Shugata, never go
much
by
higher.
what
I mean,
was
the
right?
chief electoral officer has tweeted saying it's 65.69 at 6 p.m. So based on that, if the enthusiasm to go out and vote is so less, are you throwing out an incumbent government? I mean, are we
That's-
missing
that's a
something
very
there is
relevant
the
point.
question.
That's
That's the thing. And then Priyank Kharge at 5 p.m. has tweeted saying that it's unusually low turnout in my own constituency of Chitapur. I don't know, this is extraordinarily, I mean.
So, Aarti, how does that,
what does
how does
that
a
mean?
relatively low voter turnout, assuming
let's
that
get
is the
Ashok.
case, what does that actually imply? Does it imply anything?
So at one time, it used to imply
Right.
that a low voter turnout was pro-incumbency, high voter turnout was anti-incumbency. But I think recently we've seen there's been a change in that. We've seen even a higher voter turnout can be pro-incumbency. We saw it in West Bengal, for instance. There was a
That's true,
higher
yeah.
voter turnout. And look at the way Mamata Banerjee swept, for the third time. So I really don't think we should necessarily draw conclusions from a voter turnout. Also, I want to say one thing. The ranges are so huge. I mean, there is a huge difference between 94 and 117, for instance. 94 means that you have to do Operation
is the
Kamal.
Suvarna
117 means you can form a, sort of government on your own, right? And all of them are, showing pretty large ranges. 103, 118. I mean, 103 means they have to go to the JDS. 118 means the Congress can form a government on its own. So, the only value of these exit polls really is that at the end of the day, when all of them are out and you do a poll of polls, do you get a trend? Do you get a trend of whether
I think
the
there's a danger
Congress
in doing a poll of
Vishnu.
polls as well.
well, you can get a trend from the, when you see the thing that, does the trend show the Congress in the lead or does it show the BJP in the lead? And that's really the only conclusion, the only
Very
value
close.
of an exit
Vishnu.
poll
Very
is that.
close over here.
We can do a poll of
Vishnu,
polls
quickly.
we can
Tushar,
do
go ahead. Half a second, Veera. I'll come to you next.
No, we just need to get R. Ashok there, Vishnu. Since R. Ashok is there, I think it's an important question to pose to him as well, given that he is a strong Vakaliga leader of the BJP. Sir, the BJP seems to have made an effort in the Mandya region. Who do you think will suffer more because of the BJP, if the BJP gains in the Vakaliga heartland A, and what's your prediction for Kanakpur?
Yeah, I think it will be hit JDS, I think, because we targeted in the southern part of Karnataka, JDS. So regularly, the JDS not will, they regularly telling we will cross 113, 120, but they are only in the exit poll, they are showing only 20 to 30. So I think JDS will lose more seats. We will gain in the Mandya region also.
You will gain at
Does
the
that
expense
mean that you may not have an ally in JDS post polls?
No, 100%. No alliance with the JDS.
All right,
we'll-
that's it.
last-
We've recorded that, Mr. Ashok, and we will play that back in a couple of days from now. Let's see how that goes. But Maya's been waiting very patiently. Maya, what do you make of the big hedges over here? Go ahead.
What I see when I look at the screen and all of those numbers is resort owners rubbing their hands in glee, maybe some MLAs rubbing their hands in glee as well, I do see another hung parliament. And of course, if you'd come to me before the numbers were up, I'd have given you the same thing, an edge for the Congress and the BJP trailing. I do see a lot of research work. I do see a lot of reaching out to MLAs from other parties. What the JDS does, though, will be interesting because father and son, H.D. Devegowda and Kumaraswamy, seem to look very differently at an alliance with the BJP. Kumaraswamy has entered one before. He's very much been part of a coalition with the BJP, while his father, even at that time, said, never, nothing doing, it won't happen. And we have Mr. Ashok also here saying that nothing with the JDS. But many people do feel that if there is an alliance, it will be the JDS and the BJP. So that is really the big question once all of the resort work is over and done.
I'm just trying to understand, Aarti, the dynamics over here of actually getting potentially into an alliance. Is it all, I mean, squared up and sorted as far as the JDS is concerned, that one way or the other they will swing to whoever they feel is forming a government, or are there still dynamics within the party between, say, father and son which need to be sorted out?
No, and I think that there is an effort going on by Nitish Kumar, for instance, to get JDS on board,
right.
You know, in a sort of larger opposition front for 2024. But Vishnu, you know, my own sense is that I think the BJP, if it doesn't have the numbers to form a government on its own, would not like to form an alliance government right now. Because I think for them, the BJP is looking at the 2024 polls. And, you know, if you go back to 2018, you know, when the Congress and JDS got into an alliance, although the BJP was the single largest party, but the Congress and JDS got into an alliance, formed a government. And, you know, by the time the 2019 elections rolled around, the anti-incumbency had kicked in, and with Modi's, you know, kind of overwhelming, you know, kind of campaigning, the Congress did, I mean, the BJP did phenomenally well in Karnataka,
sure.
You know. So I think what the BJP would look for is a repeat of that. So why get into, they can always do Operation Kamal after 2024, sure. Right? So why should they do it now?
Sure.
I think for them right now, 2024 is the main target.
Look at.
I think there is also another dynamic that's playing out between DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah if these numbers hold on 13th of May. You know, on who could potentially woo the JDS. We leave that for 13th of May, but I think we should just go across to Dr. Sudha of the BJP as well. Quick reaction to these polls. It doesn't seem like the BJP is jumping beyond the majority mark. I mean, is this the best case scenario that the BJP may have internally hoped for?
Very good evening to all our viewers. First and foremost, I'm really astonished to see Mr. Rajiv Gowda's talk, the confidence what he is having in spite of having poor performance. They were ruling Karnataka for more than 6 decades, and I can say, and we, the Bharatiya Janata Party has ruled only not even half a decade. And you look at the development, what we have given, take it FDI investments, highest FDI investment, highest unicorn startups.
No, but ma'am, the elections are over. Sudhaji, what we are asking you is...
No, that's what I'm telling. I'm just coming to the point.
Do you believe that you're going to form the government on your own, or do you believe inevitably you'll need partners?
No. Definitely, I'll say we'll form the government of our own because of our performance, what we have done in the past 3.5 years, take it flood, take it COVID, the way we have handled the situation, and along with that, without giving any excuses, we are in the top 4 in our country. So based on our performance, definitely we are going to stand ahead.
All right, I'm going to take a short break and then come back to Sanjay Kumar, who has a couple of key points to make over here. But in case you've just joined us and you're looking at these numbers, trying to understand where this is all headed, I think there are just 1 or 2 points which actually Sanjay was mentioning earlier on, which we can bank on. Number 1, it's not going to be one-sided. Number 2, it's going to be a really close contest. But if you were to ask anybody who's winning or who's losing, too early to say. Take a short break, come back.
Co-powered by.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
Gadget 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs. Gadget 360, Gadget Up. Gadget 360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadget 360. 20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
In a deeply polarized world, where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse, we take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two to the luxurious Alida Fort, Bishangarh, Rajasthan. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebrations.
Congress people have been perpetrating the PFI and organizations like that.
कर्नाटक की सरकार ने पिछले 3 साल में क्या किया, उसके बारे में प्रधानमंत्री एक शब्द नहीं बोलते।
This time, BJP is going to come back with thumping majority in spite of some leaders leaving the party.
प्रदेश की बीजेपी
Welcome back. You're watching Karnataka exit polls. We'll bring you the exit polls of everyone. We haven't done any ourselves, and these numbers will probably tell you why. Because A, people hedge, B, the hedge is huge, and C, you aren't getting any clarity over here other than a summary, which is that the Karnataka exit polls seem to be predicting a hung verdict with the Congress ahead in 3 exit polls and the BJP ahead in 2. Sanjay, you had a point to make. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that if you look at the data, some agencies have started revising their seats. I don't know how it's happening.
Yeah.
Second, I think most of these exit polls are being very, very cautious because look at the trend of Karnataka. If you look at the last 4 elections, always Congress have got more votes and ends up with less number of seats.
Right.
BJP, less votes, always in proportion, they get more seats. I think this is an indication of a close fight, and in this close fight, most of the pollsters are trying to play safe. That's what I understand from looking at
and
these
opinion
numbers.
polls got it wrong in 2018, right? A poll of opinion polls back in 2018 indicated that the Congress would win the highest number of seats. That didn't happen.
Because standard thing is that if you get a higher vote share, you are most likely to predict that the party will get more votes, more seats. So you remember that Congress got 38% vote, BJP got 36% vote. So in a normal situation, most of the pollsters are going to predict more seats for the Congress and less for the BJP, and this happens in most of the states. This is Karnataka is an exception because of the concentration and dispersal of votes.
Veera?
And also, just to add to what Sanjay is pointing back, to add to the fact that it's two-way fights, where the Congress beats the JDS, fights separately with the JDS, the BJP has a marginal presence. So Congress can up its vote share in those regions, which can show a greater vote share, but doesn't convert into seats overall. But I think our Ashok here, extremely interesting that he is here, sir. have fought in two constituencies, Padmanabhanagar, which is your constituency in Bangalore, and you were fielded against DK Shivkumar, who, you've known him for a long time. Was it just a token fight in Kanakpura, or what do you think the results are going to be there?
No, not for token fight. I fighted. Last, out of 12 days, I stayed in 9 days in Kanakpura only. The people likes BJP, Modi government, but they dislike their DK Shivkumar and brothers, just like a dictatorship in Kanakpura. Last 20 years. There is no election in 20 years in Kanakpura. First time when I enter in the Kanakpura, there is a fair election in this time. I think Kanakpura, Padmanabhanagar, no problem. I can win more than 60,000 lead. Kanakpura also I am fighting. I think the people of Kanakpura will vote for BJP.
Quickly, one question to you before we let you go. What is your number prediction for the JDS? I won't ask for the BJP because you'll say 150. You will tell this one for the Congress. What's your number prediction for the JDS, sir? How many seats do you think JDS is going to win this time?
I think it's about 20, 23. That's the maximum I think JDS will play.
Which is essentially what all of the exit polls are saying. The exit polls are essentially saying between 20 and 30. No one has said, yeah, between 20 and 30, the lowest being 14, the highest being 33, as far as the JDS is concerned. Tushar, we're trying to come to you earlier on as well. What is your sense of what may now be happening in the various headquarters of the political parties?
Well, when we have a poll of polls looking at all the exit polls, all the three parties can get anywhere between 0 to 224 seats. Right. That's the poll of polls for this evening, because the numbers that are changing, they just don't add up. It seems everyone has factored in the past trends of Karnataka. Everyone has factored in the ground sentiment from the last few weeks, and they probably would have been little more conservative with the BJP had it not been for the Modi's roadshow and the entire issue around the Bajrang Dal. Nevertheless, I think for the Congress, the equation is quite simple. They need to get 114 seats or they do not form the government.
In an election which is really close, you have to look at others as well. And Smita, others could be up to as many as 6. That's significant, and that's where potentially, the BJP has its strength in sort of securing the support of independents or other smaller parties.
I'm sure both the Congress and the BJP are in touch with those people, especially because we have DK Shivkumar. The Congress has an asset in Karnataka, unlike in many other states. He has the resources and the ability to, and he's also quick off the mark.
Right.
So I'm sure right now both BJP and Congress must be, sending out feelers not only to the independents but to the JDS.
Sure. Shugati, I mean, if there's any one point that we can actually look at in terms of the campaign, if the BJP's narrative has been more on national issues, they raised that entire sovereignty issue, Bajrang Bali later on, and the Congress focused on issues of Karnataka, employment, this, that, and the other, corruption, etc., etc. Could one argue that in fact that Congress strategy wasn't entirely valid, that the BJP's larger, more nationalistic narrative will probably have a mark?
No, Vishnu, I tend to disagree a little on that, because the Hindutva thing was not a major thing during the election. It was a hyperlocal election, it was a subcaste election. The Hindutva thing, the Bajrang Dal thing, what it did to the BJP was, the BJP worker was extremely depressed, because the Congress, media blitzkrieg was very, very high this time. They were playing the BJP's game, and the BJP worker was genuinely depressed. I was talking to a lot of BJP MLAs and workers and parliamentarians, and they said, there is no enthusiasm. So what happened at that point was, Modi capitalized on the Bajrang Dal thing just to charge up and recharge the worker.
Right.
So it may be limited to that extent. So if they were a little depressed, they sort of felt a little happy and came out and worked a little more. So I think that is the thing about the Hindutva thing. Otherwise, the Hindutva thing did not play a major role for the last 10 months.
Sure.
And I don't think it will spin around things for them in the last 10 days. although it has sort of created a bit of enthusiasm, and probably the party worker took 10 more voters to the polling booth today because they felt that this was their core issue and things were working.
Right. I think in a lackluster campaign, what Sugata is pointing out, it gave them a talking point towards the end. But just a quick question, Vishnu, to both Smita as well as Maya, perhaps Sugata as well. When I remember when we asked Devagowda specifically, I mean, if these numbers hold, and I'm saying purely hypothetical, if these numbers will hold and the Congress goes to the JDS like it did last time, when I asked Devagowda specifically, between DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah, do you have a choice? He said, no, I don't want to get into internal affairs, but he went on into talking about Varuna and how Yediyurappa was supposed to field his son. There is an old and bitter personal rivalry that exists. If these numbers hold, Smita and Maya perhaps first, do you think that Devagowda may be looking at the DK Shivkumar, the caste equations that come into play, perhaps to, talk to for the Congress?
Well, whenever we do talk about the Congress, we're always talking about DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah. Siddaramaiah, yes, a rather bitter history with Devagowda. Devagowda actually expelled him from that party, the Janata Dal Secular, and there is that unhappy history between them. And even within the Congress, there are still some people who view Siddaramaiah as having come from the outside, not an original Congress person. There is, of course, with DK Shivkumar being a Gowda, being a fellow Vokkaliga, like H.D. Kumaraswamy, like H.D. Devagowda, there is also the opinion that perhaps that will be an extra bond between them, that they may be happier to see DK Shivkumar there. Of course, they will not openly say anything at this time because they're still talking about making the government by themselves. But possibly in such a situation, rather than deal again with Siddaramaiah, which there has been a bitter history, they would probably look more towards their fellow Vokkaliga, DK Shivkumar, who pretty much shares power in the same belt of old Mysuru.
All right. Well, we're going to take a short break at this stage and get responses from our other panelists as well. We, didn't initially start talking a great deal about the JDS, but perhaps we need to be talking about the JDS at this stage more than any other party. We'll take a short break, come back with a lot more.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
Gadget 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs. Gadget 360, Gadget Love. Gadget 360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadget 360.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
In a deeply polarized world, where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse, we take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense-paid holiday for two to the luxurious Alila Fort, Bishangarh, Rajasthan. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebrations.
Congress people have been perpetrating the PFI and organizations like that.
कर्नाटक की सरकार ने पिछले 3 साल में क्या किया उसके बारे में प्रधानमंत्री एक शब्द नहीं बोलते।
This time, BJP is going to come back with thumping majority in spite of some leaders leaving the party.
प्रदेश की बीजेपी सरकार है वो 40% सरकारा के नाम से प्रसिद्ध हुई है।
Unnecessarily, these Congress people charging corruption charges.
A BJP manifesto has completely failed.
I am also an aspirant for the Chief Minister post. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar is also an aspirant.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it.
94 to 107. Welcome back. In case you've just tuned in to get some sort of clarity on who's going to be winning the elections in Karnataka, remember today was voting and today exit polls as well. The actual counting will take place on the 13th, and I'm afraid we are not in a position to tell you other than indicators are that it's going to be quite close, and that itself would surprise quite a few people. Many would, for example, have suggested that the Congress might be ahead. These polls don't seem to indicate either way just who is ahead, but they do seem to suggest that one way or the other the JDS will play an important role. Now we've been getting reactions as well. The senior leader B.S. Yediyurappa spoke about the exit polls. We'll listen to that and then bring you the numbers for you to take a look.
You wait and see after the result. Even now I am 100% confident because I go around on the state and I know the pulse of the people of Karnataka. Even now I am telling you that we are going to get absolute majority and we are going to form the government.
Sir, but exit poll, as of now, exit poll says the Congress leads but short of majority and most probably hung assembly now coming.
According to me, we are going to get absolute majority. The question of hung assembly does not arise at all.
Sir, in any case of short, do you think about the alliance with JDS?
At that time, the national leadership is going to take decision. According to me, we are going to get 115 to 117 seats. So that's why I am telling you that the question of joining with JDS at present does not arise. Let us see after the election result over, then we will take appropriate decision. Our national leadership is going to take decision.
Sir, some analysis saying that some big leaders are disappointed with BJP leadership. That's why this type of trends coming on.
No, not at all. All are work day and night very hard. That's why I am telling you that we are going to get absolute majority. Even now I have that confidence. Let us wait and see.
And sir, any chance of changing of the leadership in Karnataka?
That is left to the national leadership. They will take their own decision.
Sir, how many seats you know? How many seats?
We are going to get absolute majority, and now we are going to form the government.
Sir, one last question. Analysis also saying that communities are neglected by the BJP government, like Lingayat and Vokalinga communities.
No, that is not correct. Everybody have taken confidence, Lingayat and Gowda community and everybody. And the question of neglecting any community does not arise at all. Because of their all support, now we are going to get absolute majority.
So you are saying that BJP is going to form government?
101%. You see that some channels are throwing 150 to 112, 17, 118. Let us wait and see.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here, BJP leader Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa over there. Let's have these numbers up full screen. There's a new exit poll which is also out, and we should be updating that very soon. That's the India TV CNX poll. In fact, that's the second one there on your list. But I'm going to go through this. If you look at ABP News, they've got the BJP between 83 and 95, the Congress at between 100 to 112. So if it's 112 within striking range, the JDS, a huge factor, could be up to 29. India TV saying that the BJP is between 80 and 90. The Congress could be as between 110 to 120. In the context of what appears to be a close election, if these are the numbers for the Congress, then they'd be reasonably satisfied with that. The JDS between 20 and 24. The JDS numbers fairly consistent all throughout. If you take a look at News Nation, they aren't hedging their votes at all. BJP is 114, 86. Okay, we've got Mr. Bommai speaking. Let's listen in.
So, but our information on ground is very clear that we are going to get 100% complete majority, comfortable majority. And the real poll results will be there on 13th. I think everybody should wait till 13th.
So the polls are showing that some polls are showing neck to neck and showing BJP at 95 and Congress at 106. Do you still feel that the exit polls are getting it wrong?
No, exit polls are exit polls. It can't be 100%. And there will be plus or minus 5% variations in all polls. That is the, it's in the bracket. So that can change the whole scenario.
Sir, Congress said that EC has reported a huge increase of voter turnout. This is a very positive sign for Congress party depicting an
It is other way around.
against BJP.
See, always if you go back the track record, the more number of voters turn out is always better for the BJP, not for Congress. And this shows that a lot of people who otherwise not come and voted, especially in urban areas, they have come and voted. So that is the positive sign for BJP.
Sir, are you in talks with JDS if there is hung?
There is no question of hung. We are going to get absolute majority, I am telling you.
So the Congress is making allegations that near Dandeli, already buses have come and they are approaching their MLAs, sir, BJP.
This is all their figment of imagination. Thank you.
All right, Smita, go ahead. You had a point to make, yeah.
I just wanted to answer that question that Maya took a little while ago. While I agree with Maya that, Mr. Devegowda has a huge problem with Siddaramaiah, who was once his colleague, and he has never quite forgiven him. And in the event of a Congress JDS government forming, maybe Mr. Devegowda would prefer DK Shivkumar. But the problem with Mr. DK Shivkumar is the moment he is announced, I think the BJP will immediately get into action and there will be cases. There are already cases pending against him, so it will make it very difficult for the Congress to make DK Shivkumar the Chief Minister if it is in a position to form the government, in which case a third person could emerge.
This is assuming, of course, that the Congress is in a position to form
Only assuming
the
that the Congress
government.
is in a position.
Okay, we're going to take a short break and come back with more. It's all pretty exciting stuff. Even the confusion, I suppose, is exciting considering the sense of anticipation before these elections. We'll take a short break, be back.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs. Gadget 360, Gadget Love. Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
In a deeply polarized world, where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse. We take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense-paid holiday for two to the luxurious Alida Fort, Bishangarh, Rajasthan. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebrations.
Congress people have been perpetrating the PFI and organizations like that.
कर्नाटक की सरकार ने पिछले 3 साल में क्या किया उसके बारे में प्रधानमंत्री एक शब्द नहीं बोलते.
This time, BJP is going to come back with thumping majority in spite of some leaders leaving the party.
प्रदेश की बीजेपी सरकार है वो 40% सरकारा के नाम से प्रसिद्ध हुई है.
Unnecessarily, these Congress people charging corruption charges.
A BJP manifesto has completely failed.
I am also an aspirant for the Chief Minister post. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar is also an aspirant.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only
Welcome back to our look at the exit polls, and in case you've just joined us, it's not a clear picture at all. It appears to be a close election. Now, in all of this, the JDS is going to play a very, very key role. That seems quite clear. But is that something that the JDS is willing to do instantly? Some would suggest it's just a matter of time. The outreach from the BJP to the JDS or even the Congress to the JDS may already have started. There isn't any one natural ally per se of the JDS. We had earlier on spoken to Deve Gowda and Kumaraswamy about their equations and the possibility of alliances. Here's what they said.
Including Bharatiya Janata Party or Congress, the two national parties cannot form the government on their own.
So what is your thought on opposition unity, sir?
No, opposition unity I cannot say because I have not toured the state. Only Kumaraswamy has got West Bengal and Telangana, and he was also concentrating only in Karnataka.
Here both the parties, they treat us like enemy only. Whenever they require JDS assistance, then they will come to us. That is their character. But I wanted to tell you one thing. Whatever BJP friends telling, we are the B team of Congress. Then Congress telling we are the B team of BJP. But my message is that we are the B team of Kannadigas. We are with Kannadigas only.
All right, so what Mr. Kumaraswamy is saying over there, very, very significant. We are with the Karnatakas accusing the Congress of being the B team of the BJP, interesting over there, but essentially indicating that this alliance is not going to be something which should be taken for granted, that whoever comes has the larger number is necessarily going to ally. Quite clearly, the JDS would be looking for what's in it for them. Well, joining us now, the Cabinet Minister, Mr. K. Sudhakar. Thanks very much, sir, for being with us. Sir, how do you look at these exit polls? They seem to narrowly be favoring the Congress, but it's quite clear that the BJP numbers are perhaps stronger than what many would have expected a few days back.
See, a couple of points I would like to make on these election predictions or the exit poll surveys. There are 8 exit poll results that you have shown, out of which 3 are showing that Congress would come back to power. And the 2 exit poll surveys says that BJP will come. And the other 3 says it may head towards hung assembly. So it is very clear and evident that it is a very close call, close election.
Right.
Which I totally
Mr. Sudhakar,
agree.
sorry, Mr. Sudhakar, my quick question to you, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Last time in 2018 you won from the Congress, you shifted over to the BJP. Are you going to remain with whichever party, the BJP, that if you win these elections till the end of this term, sir?
See, I am binding by the ideals of BJP and I stick to the party. I am a very committed BJP loyal worker now. In fact, I was the head of the manifesto committee that we have prepared. We have given one of the best manifestos where we ensured that empowerment, not freebies. We focused on empowering our youth, our women, and we ensured that we provide a good health care, good education. So there is a beautiful manifesto that we have come out with.
Right.
So,
sir, the elections are over, Mr. Sudhakar. You're talking about your manifesto. Let's see if it works. But my question to you is, give us the inside story of what's happening in the BJP in Karnataka as we speak. Is there already a process of looking through these exit poll results with the objective of possibly reaching out to the JDS, knowing fully well that it's not going to necessarily be very simple in getting their support?
No, it's quite hard for me to believe this kind of exit poll reports, because from the ground we have traveled length and breadth of the state. We do understand the pulse and what is going on in the ground. According to that, we feel that BJP can cross the magic figure this time, or it can be the single largest party. So this is my take. I will not believe that it can come below 100.
One last question to you. You say it will not come below 100. It may cross 112. One last question to you. Do we see another 5 years of instability in Karnataka, or do you think that there will be a stable government? Some of the polls, sir, 4 of these polls are predicting potentially the upper margin is that the Congress could get a majority on its own.
No, I don't believe, because people have rejected Congress throughout nationally, and they had rejected the Congress in 2018, and we don't see anything fascinating for the people to believe in Congress again, because it is a divided house. The leaders are at loggerheads with each other. So why will people of Karnataka believe? Because people of Karnataka is prudent and they are sensible people. When a person like Mr. Modi is at helm of affairs in the nation, why will not they choose the double engine Sarkar?
Okay.
Because it will benefit the state, it will benefit immensely the people of Karnataka.
Okay, Mr. Sudhakar,
so
just half a second,
very
sir.
Confident, because
I'm
people
interrupting you because I've got your colleague, Mr. Ashwath Narayan,
past.
with us as well. I just wanted to, because I'm running out of time, just wanted to go quickly with him. So could you give us, your sense of the inside story now? It seems to be extremely close. Do you still believe you're going to win by your own strength, or do you believe that it's going to be a hung assembly?
Definitely, people of Karnataka, they want a stable government. That is one thing very clear. The people want stable, and they have taken a very clear decision that in the state of Karnataka, it will be a stable government under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister. They look up to our Honorable Prime Minister, the double engine Sarkar. Probably in this direction, the entire globalized world, the economy of the state of Karnataka also is dependent on a global line. So, I am of all the confidence, probably whatever might be the exit poll report, but the real ground reality is the minimum what we are going to gain in the state of Karnataka is minimum 120 seats, sir. I can tell you very confidently, 120 is the minimum what we are going to gain in the state of Karnataka. Definitely, the state of Karnataka is completely unpredictable by any of the surveys. The issue is completely dynamic, very dynamic.
All right. All right. So the line is getting a bit dodgy over there. 120 is what Mr. Ashwath Narayan seems to believe that the BJP is going to win without any problem. But that's what all the parties are saying, that no, we are winning on our own. So I guess we'll have to wait till the 13th of this month. We're going to take a short break and then come back with the news. And then after that, 8:30 onwards, we'll be back analyzing these numbers. For the moment, from all of us here, this short break. Welcome to Karnataka exit polls. We are using the word polls and not poll because we are looking at everybody else's exit poll. We aren't doing one ourselves. And I think there's some pretty sound logic for not doing that, because as you will see shortly, and we'll bring it up full screen, they are all over the place at this stage.
That's right. But there is one consensus that seems to be emerging as far as these exit polls are concerned. First, let us talk about the two latest ones, ladies and gentlemen, that have come in. While Vishnu and I were away, two important exit polls have also come in. India Today Access poll, which is giving a clean sweep to the Congress party. Their range for the Congress starts from 122, that is 10 above the majority mark, going up to 140 for the Congress party. A clear majority, in fact a sweep as far as the Congress is concerned. This will, even if the upper limit holds, it will better the Congress's record of Mr. Siddaramaiah in 2013. The other poll, which is Chanakya, India TV Chanakya poll, is also giving a clean majority as far as the Congress is concerned. So two more poll giving majority to the Congress, one giving in them a sweep. Overall, Vishnu, 10 exit polls have come. 5, their upper limit is giving a majority to the Congress, 3 to the Bharatiya Janata Party. Others are still hedging their bets. It's 50-50 as far as these are concerned.
Let's bring that up full screen and understand these numbers if we can, because it's pretty confusing at one level. Because there is no unanimity, and this is it. I mean, they've all done exit polls. Most of them have hedged their bets, and they're all over the place. So if you look at ABP News, then they're giving the BJP between 83 and 95. Go down that same column. If you look at India Today, they're giving the BJP only between 62 and 80. Go down India TV, giving the BJP 80 to 90. News 24, they're giving the BJP 92. They've not hedged their bets. News Nation has not hedged their bets. They've given the BJP 114. In other words, a simple majority. But let's take a look at that second column now, which is of the Congress and its allies. Again, most have hedged their bets. Between 100 to 112 says ABP. Between 122 and 140 says India Today. So that is perhaps, in my mind, the most interesting of these polls, simply because it seems to be. I don't know if you'd like to use the word outlier or not, Ankit, but it is perhaps in the context of these 8 or 9 polls an outlier in terms of its predictions, where they're saying quite clearly the Congress, not by a small margin, but by a whopping margin. The others have been much, much closer. So the others, again, I'm going to go back to these graphics. India Today, as I said, 122 to 140, so a clean sweep over there. India TV saying 110 to 120. That is what has changed, Ankit was mentioning. News 24 has now gone up to 100. So, you know what has happened, Ankit, in the last half an hour is that I think one of them has been updated and two of them are new.
Yeah, and also the last three that you spoke about, News 24, India Today and India TV. One thing is common. They are all giving majority to the Congress party. Even News 24 is giving 120 as far as the Congress is concerned. So largely, if we look at all the polls, and we'll get in our experts to weigh in on that, largely the broader strokes are that the Congress seems to be in the pole position. At least,
there's one more poll, I think, which I'm told that we need to go to right now. Can we just bring up that graphic of the today's Chanakya? Because that's also interesting. It's an extremely credible sort of group. Okay, this is the one, News 24 today's Chanakya, which puts the Congress and allies, Congress essentially, at 120.
A clear majority, 8 over the majority.
The difference between the other polls and News Chanakya is a much lower number for the JDS. And in this also the BJP is doing
and that is obviously favor the Congress.
So that's precisely right. So in their survey says that there is completely, and as many people were talking in theory, that complete decimation of the JDS, but the BJP still holds. The BJP largely holds its ground, 92 seats for the Bharatiya Janata Party. The Congress, that means, is doing exceptionally well as far as this poll survey is concerned in the old Mysuru region, and that's why you see 12 for the JDS and Congress standing at 120. That's very, very interesting.
Dr. Manisha Priyam,
so if you see the different theories by these two new polls, in the first one, which is the India Today Access My India poll, the JDS is still holding on to roughly similar figures of 2024. The other ones saying no, tectonic shift and the ground
I'm
below.
only interrupting you now because we've got Priyank Kharge who joins us. Priyank, thanks very much for being with us. I suppose your own emotions in the course of the last couple of hours would be sort of a bit up and down. Some of the initial polls suggested that you wouldn't be doing too well, but now you've got C Voter and you've got India Today, and I think one or two others suggesting that you are going to come to power. Some suggest that you're going to sweep, or it'll be a simple majority, and if not a sweep. How are you seeing these numbers?
Vishnu, I'm not a great fan of exit polls. But having said that, the hard work that we have put in, the strategy that we have come up with, the narratives that we have brought in, and the way we have moved one step ahead of BJP in the state, I'm sure that we will cross the 130 mark.
Mr. Kharge, if I may ask you, because in the region of your influence, your father's influence, the Hyderabad, Karnataka region, most exit polls seem to be giving the Congress a big edge. Though on the ground, was it a difficult election, particularly for you on your constituency? Fighting this election for the third time, was there anti-incumbency as far as you are yourself are concerned? How difficult or easy was this election?
Well, every election is a tough election, and of course there are huge expectations from people themselves, and moreover, BJP is always hell-bent on defeating me. One is probably because it will bring in a lot of flack for the AICC president, and besides that, I myself have been exposing the scandals of BJP in the state. So I was probably in the top 5 targets, and it's been, I wouldn't say it's been a tiring election. So, but I'm sure that the people of Chitapur will bless me, and I'll be ready to serve for a third time.
Priyank Veeraraghav here, you don't usually sound like this. I know you're sounding a little different, tired voice after all the campaigning. Tell me, some of these exit polls, one is putting you as high as 140. The others predict that you could be below the 112 mark. Is there a sense of nervousness within the Congress at the moment? I mean, has there been a sense of nervousness since the last few days about how the numbers are going to play out at the end of the day?
No, Raghav, I think we're pretty confident of our hard work. Like I said, we have played all the right notes. We have keyed in the right numbers. The ticket distribution happened very cautiously, and the 5 guarantees that we gave to the people have echoed well with the sentiments that are on the ground. And I'm sure that we will get to 130 and above.
Mr. Kharge, if I may ask you, how important is this election, for the Congress president, for Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge? He has been on the campaign trail continuously, son of the soil. That was the pitch that he made Dharti Putra against when the Prime Minister was taking pot shots at the Congress party. How important is this election after the defeat of 2019 Lok Sabha election, his lone defeat?
Every election is important to the Congress president, and this being his own state makes it all the more special because I think this is the first election where he's been fully in charge and at the helm of affairs. Whether it was Himachal or Gujarat, he had just come in as a president, and things had already more or less been decided. But this has been his election from the word go. And the first thing that he did was to ensure that we come out as a united voice. There are no factionalism. And whatever had to be decided was decided with complete transparency. So yes, of course, this is a crucial election for him personally and also for the Congress. It's a very important election because the road to 2024 is by winning states, and Karnataka will be the first one.
Okay. Thanks very much for being with us. I just want to go across to Tom Vadakan of the BJP as well. Priyank, lovely speaking to you. Tom Vadakan, is it your sense now that that some of these exit polls seem to be suggesting that things aren't necessarily going your way? The larger number of them seem to be suggesting, in what could be a close contest, that the Congress may be just ahead.
Well, the reality, first, let me thank the voters of Karnataka for having coming out in such large numbers and voting for a free and fair election. That is a reality that has happened. This is a celebration of democracy. Now, as to the question of the exit poll, I differ a lot, and I have to, differ a lot on what I'm seeing on your screen. Because from information that I have from our Karyakartas, is something comparatively very different. And probably this would be a situation where you would have a two-column story coming out that the exit polls got it wrong. We are forming the government. There's no two views about it. And our reports are that our numbers are correct, and we will form the government. Because it's our report card that we have submitted to the people of Karnataka, and the efforts of the BJP Prime Minister, Shri Modi, and the President of the party and our Home Minister, who have been actively involved in campaigning, and the love and affection shown to them in Bangalore or wherever they have had tour programs. It's a very clear indication that yes, we have arrived and we will form the government.
Okay, so, it's sometimes it's on the very predictive lines as far as the political representatives are concerned, whether we believe these exit polls or not. Supriya Srinath of the Congress also with us at this moment. Ms. Srinath, quite a big fluctuation as far as the exit poll numbers are concerned, from one giving an upper margin of 140 to the Congress party to few others which are in fact giving BJP an edge. How does this all stack up for the Congress party at this moment?
No, so I don't think, if I can see your screen clearly, I don't think there are a few others. I think there's only one survey which is giving the BJP an edge. I really think, having spent a lot of time, a part of a good 1 month in Karnataka recently, having had ground reports, our own internal survey, we will be close to between the 140 to 150 mark. And I have no doubt about it, because we are getting reports now from constituencies, even within Bengaluru. I think of the 28, we are all set to win between 18 to 20 seats. I really think, and I heard the BJP representative talk about his report card, all through the elections, there was one thing that the Congress focused on, which were our 5 guarantees. It was a positive campaign. It was a campaign about prosperity, where we spoke about Grah Lakshmi, Grah Jyoti, Anna Bhagya, Yuva Nidhi, and of course the Sakhi Yojana. That's what we spoke about. We also unmasked the BJP's corruption, 40% corruption
PCM, people sick and tired of corruption, including the Mathadishas, who they were going to, Dingaleshwar Swamy being prominent amongst them. What did the BJP do? The BJP was in government now for 3.5 years. They should have come with a report card. I heard the word report card, and so I'm picking on it. There was no sense of report card. What were they asking votes for? If we don't come to power, there will be riots.
No,
if we don't come to power, the Prime Minister will deprive you of his
Supriya,
blessings. 1 second, let me finish. There was so much of if we don't come to power. The Prime Minister himself, I've never seen him grapple like that to form a narrative. He started with 91 name calling, then he went to Atankwad, then he went to Rajiv Gandhi, then he went to Tukar. I mean, what was the Prime Minister talking about in Karnataka? He has presided over the most corrupt government in Indian history, which is the Karnataka government. He is in the doghouse as far as
okay, Supriya, the elections are over.
What was the Prime Minister
Supriya, my friend, the elections are over. Now we just have to wait to see what the results are. No, but I was interested in knowing something.
I'm very happy to have humor. But this is what we fought elections on.
No, but Supriya, hang on a second. Let me ask you this question, because I do believe it's important what you just briefly alluded to, that the Congress has done an internal sort of study post the voting. Is that right? And if so, what is it that you believe that you're going to get?
We are going to get seats anywhere between 140 to 150.
And you're saying, but this is something you would have expected even earlier on. Or are you saying today on the basis
No, but I think after the voting is done, we speak to people, we get a ground sense, and our own internal assessment, I'm not going to call it a survey, we are not pollsters, but our own internal assessment is that we should land up with between 140 to 150, a comfortable majority government, one that is going to deliver on the promises that we have promised to the people.
Veera Raghav has a question. Veera, go ahead.
No, I don't have a question, but 140 to 150 is a sweep last seen 1999 under SM Krishna's leadership, and before that when Virendra Patil led the Congress to power. So that seems like a huge confidence, but you know, is there a sense of nervousness that some things could go wrong in some places, or is there a sense of absolute confidence?
Absolute confidence, and I hate to sound overconfident ever, because I've been a journalist just like you before. I hate to sound overconfident, I never want to get it wrong, but there is an absolute sense of calm, because we know that we led a good campaign, we know that we went to the people with their issues, whatever we picked up during the Bharat Jodo Yatra leg of Karnataka for those 15 odd days. All our promises were based upon that. The fact that Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge comes from Karnataka, the fact that Rahul Gandhi was speaking the language of love and non-violence, the fact that Priyanka Gandhi was questioning the Prime Minister and his preposterous statements, I think it all worked magically together. But I think the biggest reason for our win will be we put people first. And we unmasked the BJP.
Now you have virtually given us a victory speech, my friend. I think you'll still have to wait until, I think you're going to have to wait a little bit, and let's...
We'll be back, I'll be back on the 13th to give the same speech all over again. With no fervor. With no fervor.
All right. Mr. M. Arivalagam of the JDS joins us. Thank you very much for being with us. You know, the JDS is in an interesting position. If you look at the JDS numbers, some are placing you just over 30 in the upper range, but generally speaking, you are within the 20s. Do these exit polls broadly match your expectations?
No. Actually, exactly. Even last year also, last election also, almost all the exit polls are given around less than 20 for us, and we have got around 38 last time. But this time still, definitely the people have voted for the regional party, 100%. We will be in power on 13th. No doubt in that. Congress is not going to come, even BJP is not going to come. Only one left over. 130, the simple majority, definitely will be getting.
The JDS will be winning 130.
113, and a simple majority of 113.
No, but sir,
so that would basically mean that JDS will do the, overshoot the best performance that they have had ever in Karnataka. It will have to be double. It was 67 if I'm not mistaken.
Only one leader in Karnataka who has went to the doorsteps of all poor people is our Kumarana, the same candidate. He has went to almost all the villages, past 5 months, almost all the villages. When you look into BJP and Congress, they did not do.
That's true. I mean, Mr. Kumaraswamy may have worked hard, but Amitabh Tiwari, if I may bring you in at this moment, even with the polls which like Vishnu was saying, that as an outlier, let's say Access My India, largely the victory of the Congress or the numbers of the Congress are coming at the cost of the JDS. The BJP still seems to be holding that around that 80 mark in most of these polls. it does seem that this election became a bipolar election where, if we go by the numbers of Chanakya or let's say Axis My India, where JDS has lost the control of its traditional bastion.
So if you go by the Axis survey or the Chanakya survey, in the old Mysuru region, Congress party is getting 40% vote share, JDS 28 and BJP 25, which means both BJP and Congress are eating into JDS vote share if their numbers are correct, because JDS used to be 40% and Congress used to be around 35 and BJP 17 to 18%. So either the Muslims have somewhat consolidated behind Congress after this Bajrang Dal PFI episode, and Vokaliga vote, some of it, has been transferred to the BJP, and that was evident in your NDTV CSDS opinion poll, where it showed that only 36% Vokaligas are voting for the JDS. Never it has fallen below 40%.
Go ahead.
No, Amitabh, I think the NDTV CSDS poll suggested that the Congress and the JDS were fighting for the Vokaliga vote. There could be the Congress taking away a portion of the JDS vote as well in terms of the caste vote that exists in there. Just making that point, because it's at 36 or 34, I think roughly the numbers split between the Congress and the JDS.
Correct. So even BJP, which was around 17-18%, because we did not have the BJP number, it seems that it is getting in some seats, because it is also a JDS versus BJP contest in some of the seats there. 9 to 12 seats, it's a JDS versus BJP contest. And the entire contest, as you are saying, turned into a bipolar. I mean, it is a triangular contest only on 15% of the seats.
True.
Mostly 34-35 seats only.
Sugata,
I think the larger picture really is that you're predicting a clear, sort of the Congress on pole position may be closer to the mark in terms of general response, but the JDS, as you pointed out, stuck to between 20-25 seats. I wonder what Sugata has to say for that.
Sugata, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if the numbers are correct, and if Congress is getting 140 seats, then the vote share will have to be in the range of 40 and 42% across the state.
It is 43%.
And Congress could not have just done well in one region. It should have done well also in central Karnataka and coastal Karnataka as well to get that kind of percentage, 42%.
But there could be one reason. So the Congress, in fact, if I just go by the Axis data, which said in coastal Karnataka, the BJP is still sweeping. But the vote share of the Congress could have gone up, like we were discussing earlier, because of the consolidation of the minority vote, not getting fragmented between SDPI and other parties, but completely went to the Congress. Apart from that, every other region, Congress is leading.
Yes. You're absolutely right. See, in the old Mysuru region, it's JDS is a dominant party in the Okaliga districts, that's Mandya and Ramnagaram and places like that. But Mysore, Chamarajanagar, and also, the other parts of old Mysore region, they're not a dominant player. And, let me correct Amitabh ji. See, they have, what the CSDS NDTV poll showed was they were retaining their support base. And they had a slight edge. That was what I think was shown.
I think the Vokaliga vote.
In the Okaliga vote. Vokaliga vote.
CSDS
42%, 42-43%.
The Okaliga
Just half a second. I just wanted to go across to Dr. Priyam as well. Given what we are seeing and assuming for a moment that, the margins which we are seeing for a Congress win, which seem quite dramatic now and large in the last 2 or 3 exit polls, that their narrative seems to have worked, which has been much more about local issues linked to employment, poverty, employment generation or the lack thereof, and of course corruption. That, I mean, can we say safely that those were actually the dominant themes?
There is undoubtedly an alignment between what was being raised on the ground and what was being offered by the Congress in its manifesto. Having said that, in coastal Karnataka, the BJP is held on its own, and Karnataka does have such an intricate social fabric, a lovely social fabric of plurality of social castes. And if you look at the old Mysuru region and Bangalore city also, the Congress is doing very well. Between Bangalore city and the Mysuru region, that accounts for over 100 seats. And if the Congress is doing so well, then it's definitely the Vokaliga, it's definitely the minorities, but also the OBC politics. The Ahinda politics was about the OBC politics. The quiet Siddaramaiah, who's always, when he pitchforked from the front, he was a much hated figure amongst the Vokaligas. But when the Congress is running a 2-horse race with DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah, and it's kind of on the offensive, it doesn't have to defend its own pitch. I think that's working. Maybe the rainbow coalition that we've often spoken about for Devegowda, I don't know yet if these numbers hold. And if we look at,
theoretically speaking, I think both DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah come from the same region. So it could have sort of made them that kind of double engine that the BJP speaks
looking
about.
for.
Amitabh, and would it be possible that the Lingayat vote over here, which the BJP was expected to dominate, they would have actually lost out on, with people like Shettar having lost? If you look at, again, the last 3 polls, exit polls or whatever, it would seem to suggest that possibly even in their heartland, in terms of constituencies, they may be losing out substantially.
Yeah, see, last time also they were losing in Hyderabad, Karnataka, because it has a significant population of minorities, SC/STs. But they are trailing also in Bombay, Karnataka, if the Axis survey is correct, which means that they have not been able to consolidate the Lingayat vote as they used to get, and the number could have dropped to below 60%.
Would be a huge
could be
factor
other issues also. Remember
for
the statement that I
for the
had
Congress.
and Shugata
Right. So hang on. No, you know, here there is something interesting. I think what Manisha was pointing out, and Shugata also agreed, was very important, that both Siddaramaiah and DKS from the same region, representing contradictory voting blocks, right? And interestingly, Manisha, when I was on Siddaramaiah's campaign trail, someone pointed out, when I asked them this question, someone pointed out, you're forgetting that Siddaramaiah was once with Devegowda.
Right.
Siddaramaiah was once...
Veera, just half a second, we've got Tejasvi Surya joining us.
Member of Parliament, Bharatiya Janata Party from Bengaluru South. Tejasvi, thank you for speaking to us. I want to start by asking you on the last 3 surveys which have come out at this moment, which are giving Congress a very, very clear edge over the Bharatiya Janata Party, a clear majority as far as the surveys are concerned. That is Chanakya, Axis, and also News 24. Can I ask you and understand from you, despite the Prime Minister's roadshow, it seemed that there was a concentrated effort by the Bharatiya Janata Party to ensure that at least in the Bengaluru urban pockets, you sweep, or at least you get more seats than last time, backing on the Prime Minister's charisma. If these 3 surveys hold true, even in this region, the Congress is far ahead as far as the BJP is concerned.
Well, I would ask you, and I would also ask the Congress party, to not start celebrating prematurely, because the voter will speak his real voice. His real voice will be heard on the 13th of May. And I can tell you with a lot of confidence, after having collected and collated a lot of inputs from our ground level Karyakartas, I was traveling to at least 100 booths all day today and have interacted with all of them. And I can tell you on that basis that we are performing very well all across the state, and we are performing exceedingly well in Bengaluru, and we will even be adding to our tally in Bengaluru.
Tejasvi, let me ask you this.
BJP will emerge as the single largest party on the 13th of May.
No, I'm just trying to understand that, you know, I mean, I understand that you would say that you'll emerge as the single largest party. Perhaps you will, perhaps you won't. But in terms of a possibility of aligning with the JDS, is that even within the realm of conversation and talk within the BJP this evening?
We will speak about all of these things on the 13th and after, because till the 13th, based on your exit polls, I wouldn't want to comment on anything, because on the basis of the inputs I have received from our Karyakartas, we are forming a majority government.
And Tejasvi, is that input after the voting? In other words, has the BJP done an analysis of different regions post the voting today?
Well, this is what I have gathered after I have spoken to our Karyakartas sitting at the booths. The party is still in the process of its collation, and that will be done by, today night, and tomorrow by afternoon that process will be complete. But insofar as I have spoken to all our Karyakartas who are manning the booths in different parts of the state, this is what they are saying. They are very optimistic, they are very upbeat. They are saying that the kind of voter turnout they have seen is something that they had witnessed last during the Lok Sabha elections. The higher percentage of polling that has happened in areas where the BJP is strong. Therefore, they are very confident and upbeat. So we are confident on the 13th.
May I just quick last question to you, Tejasvi. And we are just presuming, according to these numbers, if these numbers hold true and the Congress does have an edge, at least as far as these numbers are concerned, would you agree that the narrative that the Bharatiya Janata Party was trying to build, that narrative perhaps did not work, be it the Bajrang Bali issue or in fact the other national broad strokes that the BJP was trying to play at?
Why do you want to do a post-mortem when the person is still alive and thriving? We will speak about all of these things on the 13th of May, and I am very confident that on the 13th of May, the BJP will be forming a full majority government in Karnataka.
All right. Tejasvi, we'll wait for you on 13th, and hopefully we'll have another conversation.
100%
actually, there is a body to do a
13th.
post-mortem on the table on May 13th. Thank you, Tejasvi Surya, for joining us at this moment. A quick break. Our analysis of these numbers continues after a short break. Stay tuned.
Co-powered by
in a deeply polarized world, where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse, we take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two to the luxurious Alila Fort, Bishangarh, Rajasthan. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebrations.
Congress people have been perpetrating the PFI and organizations like that. कर्नाटक की सरकार ने पिछले 3 साल में क्या किया उसके
Well, good evening and welcome. It's been quite the day today. Voting has taken place in Karnataka in an election which has been one of the most anticipated elections we've seen in recent times. I think the larger picture is, does this give an indicator of where we are headed for in 2024? Over the last couple of hours, Veera Raghav, Ankit and I have been looking at various exit polls, and they've genuinely been a mixed bag. But I think in the last couple of hours, it does appear that according to 2 or 3 fairly decisive polls, the Congress party may be ahead, if not winning by a decisive majority. Earlier on, it did appear that no, we were headed to a hung assembly.
That's right. And, as we have been discussing this evening, for the Congress, the only way to form the government is a decisive majority. They will have to have something around 120 to be comfortable as far as the government is concerned. And that possibly would be, after 2013, a full majority government that Karnataka, the state, will also see. Veera Raghav, while on the campaign, when you were there, I was also, in fact, traveling across. We spoke to all these leaders. One thing that came out, that there was, even in Karnataka, despite, all the murmurs of defections or the fissures. Okay, let's very quickly go across to Mr. Siddaramaiah, who is speaking at this moment.
Congress party ಈ ಸಾರಿ 130 ಕನಿಷ್ಠ 150ವರೆಗೂ ಗೆಲ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಬಹುಶಃ ಅದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾನು ಗೆಲ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಓಕೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಜನ ತಮ್ಮ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆಗೆ ತಕ್ಕಂಗೆ ಮತ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
ನಾನು ಜನರ ನಾಡಿ ಮಿಡ್ತಾ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬಹುಶಃ
ನನ್ನ ಲೆಕ್ಕಾಚಾರ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ.
ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಅವರು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು, ಕರಾವಳಿ ಭಾಗ, ಮೈಸೂರು ಭಾಗ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ,
ಈವನ್ ಕರಾವಳಿ ಭಾಗ ಇದೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕರಾವಳಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 13 ಸ್ಥಾನಗಳಿದಾವೆ. ನಾವು ಗೆದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಒಂದೇ. ಈ ಸರಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಗೆಲ್ತೀವಿ.
And that is what is getting reflected in some of the polls. And he is making the point that I made earlier, which is we are doing well in coastal Karnataka as well. And I mean, I made that point because in Puttur there is a lot of dissidence.
ಉಡುಪಿನಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಗೆದ್ದಿದ್ದು.
ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಮೋದಿಯವರ ರ್ಯಾಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಬಜರಂಗ ದಳದ ವಿಚಾರ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾವುದು ಕೂಡ ಜನ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Right, that was Mr. Siddaramaiah speaking, and as Mr. Nivas was, translating it, he's confident 130 to 150 is what his number is. Let me go back to Veeraraghav. Veeraraghav, both Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, they have not in any way even attempted to hide their ambition for the top job as far as Karnataka is concerned. With these numbers, how do you see the permutation combinations within the Congress party which will be at play at this moment?
Oh gosh, don't even get there. I think we'll have to wait till the 13th of May to figure that out. I remember posing this very question to Mr. Siddaramaiah specifically. How do you see Mr. D.K. Shivkumar as a friend, a competitor, rival? He said he's my good friend, quote unquote. He's my good friend, but also a competitor when it comes to the chief minister's post. Post 13th May, there is going to be a battle. But going back to that point we were discussing just before the break, Ankit and Vishnu, Shivkumar, Siddaramaiah, both from the old Mysore region, both representing contradicting caste combinations. And I was going to put that across to Manisha as well as Sugata and Amitabh, that interestingly, when I asked somebody in Siddaramaiah's campaign trail, how is this going to work on the grassroots? Will there be friction on the ground? They told me, you're forgetting that Siddaramaiah was with Devagowda at one point of time. This is exactly the caste combination that they took forward for the JDS at one point of time, and they are trying to reinvent that. So I think if the Congress and if the two of them can bring their vote bases together in the old Mysore region, which is the Ahinda vote base or even the Kuruba vote, if just that section of the Ahinda vote and the Vokkaliga vote, it could be decisive, especially in the Kaveri heartland, right, Manisha?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel two things. One is that on all the hardline Hindutva that the BJP did, the strongest and most pitched battles on the ground were fought by the JDS. Even on the Nandini Amul thing, look at how Mandya as a district, the rural farmers were responding against that whole issue. But the fact is that, the larger advantage of this battle being taken by the Congress party, which comes in at the end and says, okay, now let's ban Bajrang Dal, and they had to ban it. They could have said it like, much earlier. But I feel definitely that what would have worked to the advantage of the Congress party is that Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivkumar have allowed to be different, seemingly competitive. So the anti-Siddaramaiah anger that existed amongst the Vokkaligas in 2018, this time around, by playing two different games, by playing different strokes, you are able to get, seemingly rivalrous or competitive caste groups together. It is still to be seen whether the JDS has done badly. I don't know because all polls have pitched it at a somewhat comfortable position. So I don't think.
No, 2025 is not comfortable, Manisha. They were looking at 35 plus. They need 35 plus. When I asked you, Sugata, about that working majority, I think within the JDS, 30 was the number. 30, if they go below 30, they become irrelevant.
All right, 1 second everyone. I want to ask a question to Praveen Chakravarti, chairperson of data analytics at the Congress. He's a number cruncher. Praveen, what is your own sense based on speaking to your own workers, your own poll workers after the elections actually took place? Because I know that all major parties go about asking questions. So realistically, what is it that you think you would get?
Good evening. I think first off, I think it's quite obvious to those that have done scientific and well-designed studies that the Congress party is in a very comfortable position. It's in pole position. It's in a very comfortable position. I personally expect it to do as well, if not better, than the 1999 election, where I believe we got 132 seats. Having said that, I also want to urge caution to both viewers and panels about all these exit polls and all these sort of different polls that keep coming up during every election. I think the simple question is this: any scientifically designed poll has to that claims to predict seats has to poll every seat. They have to get 1,000 people in every seat on a stratified random sample basis. It costs 150 rupees to poll one person on the ground, which means it costs about 3 to 3.5 crores to poll Karnataka 224 seats. I want to know, do any of these pollsters, did they spend that money? If not, who spent that money? How much did they spend? And what exactly did they survey? Because I think for far too long, we've had this charade of polls that keep coming out, fooling viewers, saying that these are exit polls and scientific polls. The fact is, none of these are scientific.
So, Praveen, by that token, you don't accept. You don't even accept the
ones that
stuff.
are giving you 140.
That is precisely why my comments make even more
controversial
credibility.
Controversial, Praveen. You don't even accept the good numbers.
See, that's exactly why I'm making the point. The point is, while we are very sure that we will form the government and we have a comfortable majority, I want to caution viewers. I want to tell people this is a complete.
So what is your number? Because that was my original question.
See, Vishnu, you will know in 2 days. I don't think,
Why not? I am asking you, please answer. You are the data cruncher. You have a number.
We are television journalists. We like to break the story before it breaks.
I have to ask you that question.
I know television journalists like to create tamasha. I understand that. But I'm saying this is a serious
but it's a serious question. It's a serious question. I mean, what do you believe realistically you would get? Because your answer to that question is important. Do you believe it's going to be very close? A simple majority in alliance?
Okay, Vishnu, let me tell you something. In terms of seats, anyone that's intellectually honest will tell you that they cannot give an absolutely accurate prediction of the precise number of seats, even with all these sort of ranges that I'm seeing.
Sure.
All I can tell you is we're in a very comfortable position. It'll be a very comfortable majority. Very comfortable majority. So now, what is the exact number? I think it's a fool's errand to go and assume that anyone knows the exact number.
All right, that's quite interesting that he. Praveen, you are actually hedging your answer in as much as these exit polls have hedged their polls.
I don't consider any of these exit polls. Take any of these exit polls seriously.
Right. It seems neither Ankit, Veera or I are not getting anything out of Praveen tonight in terms
Vishnu, maybe we should
just push
maybe we should just nudge Praveen to tell us, do you think the JDS and the BJP will be, which of them is going to lose more? Let me put it that way to you. Which of them is going to lose more in this election?
Lose more in terms of vote share?
Vote share and seats.
I think seats we don't know. See, in Indian first past the post elections, especially when there are more than two parties, votes to seats is a very complex translation. Okay, so the first in terms of vote share, I think the BJP is going to take a complete nosedive.
Okay. So, but let me tell you, at this moment, the discussion is around the exit polls. Those are the numbers that we are discussing. Even the Axis My India poll, which is giving a Congress 140, that also gives a 3% jump to the Bharatiya Janata Party's vote share from 36 to 39%, though it's keeping the Congress at more than 42%. Jaiveer Shergill, is your analysis of these numbers as cynical as Praveen's was, or are you fairly tilting towards few numbers which are giving the Bharatiya Janata Party a clear majority?
BJP lives and breathes reality, and BJP keeps us up till the last vote is counted. So let me tell you 2-3 things on your numbers. Number one, the entire dominant sentiment in Karnataka is, and the voice in Karnataka is, ye dil mange BJP once more. And this will pan out to be a reality on 13th May. On 13th May, you will see a chief minister from BJP and the leader of opposition from the Congress party. And now coming specifically to the numbers. Both the numbers which are predicting a comfortable majority for the Congress party, and I don't want to name specific polls, predicted 118 to 20 seats, 120 seats for the Congress in 2018 and 78 to 80 seats for the Bharatiya Janata Party. But the results were 104 for the BJP and the Congress was at 78. Now, my point being is this. The BJP, the Congress today, Mr. Praveen, who I have interacted, I know him, he's a wise man. But today, Congress camp is not ready to accept any form of victory because they are abreast with the reality. I'll give you a small statement. By the noon, before even the polling ended, before these exit polls were showcased on every TV screen, the Congress is already crying Operation Lotus, that BJP is trying to poach the MLAs. Congress, even before the results are declared, don't trust their MLAs, then how can the people of Karnataka
No, but
trust?
if you are talking about Operation Lotus, is the BJP at this stage, I don't know, looking closely at hotel bookings, reservations, friendly politicians, that sort of stuff? Not necessarily in Karnataka, possibly in Assam, who knows?
Vishnu, speaking from the facts, it is the Congress camp, Mr. Priyank Kharge, and another Congress leader who spoke about Operation Lotus. And to your question, are we looking for hotel and resorts? Yes. For the swearing-in ceremony, Bharatiya Janata Party is looking for hotel and resorts. Okay. And lastly, why? I'll tell you, being a pilot myself, on May 13th, Congress will cry Mayday, Mayday, and BJP will celebrate safe landings because we have contested this election on a development card. And Congress has contested this election on abuse the Prime Minister card, and the result will be out there for the public.
Okay, we'll wait for May 13th to figure that out, who's taking off and who's not. We have Mr. R.K. Hegre, Chair Professor, Institute of Social. Okay, he is joining us in just a short while.
In fact, we've got Mr. S. Shankaranna of the JDS with us.
All right, and Mr. Shankaranna from the JDS, and we also have Professor Sanjay Kumar of CSDS also joining us here. Professor Kumar, first of all, your initial thoughts on the exit poll numbers. A wide range, largely though edged the Congress, but a wide range from majority to the BJP to 140 for the Congress party.
If you look at, if I have to talk about numbers, see, look at, there are 10 exit polls which has come up. 6 are giving leads for the Congress or a comfortable majority to the Congress, 2 hung assembly and 2 for BJP. By sheer numbers, I think it's a clear majority for Congress, or at least the polls suggest that Congress is ahead of BJP. In my opinion, going by the exit poll assessment, I think Congress is going to get a majority.
No, a couple of hours back, based on obviously the exit polls then, you said it would be a close fight and a hung assembly. I think that's what you had suggested. No, you said close fight and?
I never said a hung assembly, but I did mention that it is a close fight. Okay. And a close fight would mean maybe Congress is getting a majority, a thin majority.
And now on the basis of the new ones,
I am not on the side of Congress, say, getting 125, 130 seats. My own assessment would be maybe about 118, 119 seats. 118, 119 seats, less than 120
seats. All right. Chandan Gowda, is...
the vote shares, Vishnu, that amongst all the exit polls, maybe Sanjay could give us a perspective on the vote shares that we are seeing amongst all the exit polls. Is it consistent?
My own sense is that there are only 2 polls which have given vote share. Yeah. No other polls have given any vote share. And I think the 2 polls are suggesting Congress with about 42% vote.
That's right.
That's what I have got the sense.
And the BJP is at?
35%.
35%.
So it's a 7% lead.
I think 39 mostly in some other region. 43, 35,
it's a 2% gap in vote share.
8% gap.
8%
That's a huge one.
Yeah. And that's also the first time the Congress would cross the 40% mark after 1999. Yes. They have never crossed the 40% mark post 1999. The Congress party would be, in fact, doing that. Let's very quickly, Vishnu, if you want to take a question to the JDS, representative who is joining us at this moment, Ms. Anna, I can ask you the numbers at this moment. The average for the JDS is much below possibly that you would have expected. A 30-35 is what the JDS would have liked. The range for the JDS at this moment is just about 20-25. How do you assess this performance based on these numbers, sir?
With the good evening, brother. With the blessings of Bajrang Bali and with the blessings of Allah, on May 13th, 2023, Shri Harpanalli Devegowda Kumaraswamy ji will be the Chief Minister of Karnataka, because from 18% vote share in 2018, we will be getting 22% vote share in 2023, giving us a clear edge and form the government in Karnataka. Because on May 13th, 2022, close to 10 lakh people gathered in Bangalore and took a vote in the name of Janata Jaladhara to bring JDS to power. And this time it is not only old Mysore region, it is also the Kalyan Karnataka region, the Kittur Karnataka region, the coastal Karnataka region, the central Karnataka region, Bangalore urban region, and old Mysore will all vote for a regional party named JDS, and it will vote Chief Minister as Kumaraswamy.
Right. Professor Chandan Gowda also with us at this moment. Professor Gowda, what are your initial thoughts on the the trends that are emerging as far as these exit polls are concerned?
I didn't find anything counterintuitive in these results. If you recall, all the forecasts that were being done before the elections, they were roughly pointing to the Congress as single largest party, perhaps with a simple majority, perhaps with a little more. And BJP was never ever claimed by anyone to have a chance at winning.
All right, I'm just going to interrupt you there, Chandan. We've got Mr. DK Shiv Kumar with us. Thank you, sir, very much for being with us. Do you believe that it's a done deal as far as you're concerned, the Congress is going to win? Or do you believe it's going to be a close fight, as some of the polls have reflected a couple of hours back?
You're asking me?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
There'll be no close fight. This will be a clear fight. The result will be not, I don't believe, all these exit polls. The number will be much bigger. It will touch 141. That is my number. I still had my own homework done. Yesterday also, today also. I think there's a big change for better. To root out, today is the day to root out the corruption in Karnataka, for the development of Karnataka, for the growth of Karnataka, and for the peaceful atmosphere to be created in Karnataka.
So who's going to be Chief Minister, sir, if these numbers hold? Who's going to be Chief Minister, you or Mr. Siddaramaiah, or will it be a dark horse?
No, you should be very happy that the Congress party is going to form to power. Let us keep the Chief Minister out of this one. The country and the
respectfully, that becomes a huge issue now if you actually do go with these numbers. And given the fact that, let's be honest, sir, that there has been problems and differences between you and Mr. Siddaramaiah, I think the next step people would want to know what happened.
See, media and BJP want to create differences. You are acting, that's all. Where is the difference? Last 3 years, there is not even a single incident that we had any differences. What differences?
I asked on the campaign trail, sir, I asked you and Mr. Siddaramaiah this question. When I asked him, how do you see Mr. Shivkumar? Do you see him as a friend, rival, or competitor? He said he's a good friend who will be a competitor for the Chief Minister's post. Now, given that the elections are over, is there, that camaraderie that both of you showed, is it time to end that, and is it time to start your calculations with it? Have you started your calculations with it?
No calculation. I don't want to make any calculation. It is my proud duty to deliver Karnataka, all of us joining together. My party high command will take it. There is no election here, nothing. They will take an opinion. Ultimately, my party will take a call.
Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, I want to ask you, sir, the Prime Minister spent quite a considerable time as far as the campaign of Karnataka is concerned. How much of an impact did his campaign have as far as these elections are concerned? And do you believe that because there was not Mr. Yediyurappa on the ticket, that worked to the advantage of the Congress party, with your face and Mr. Siddaramaiah's face being put forward?
See, Prime Minister, he knew that he is going to lose. So he came out here all alone, wanted to show his single face, not taking any state leaders along with him. He did his roadshow only with him, used the machinery, government machinery, that he is on one road and the public will be on one road. I think that will not be a local election. His double engine has failed. That is why he tried to project himself that he will run the government. That can't be happened. Karnataka is different. We all are local, we have a local pride. You can't bring any other model here. Karnataka has its own model. You can't bring UP model, Gujarat model, or any other model. We have our own model. Our model will work out for the development of.
Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, if you remember, we caught up on the election trail, and I asked you this question where you had said once that the Congress party is going to reward me for so there'll be royalty for my loyalty. Is this the time now? The loyalty for Mr. D.K. Shivakumar is going to be rewarded by some royalty by the Congress party?
See, let us not discuss what we said earlier, what we did not tell earlier.
Okay.
Now let us be on a positive note. What I have spoken, I stand by it. Let us take it forward. We will meet on 13th. And thank you for all your support at the time of our campaign.
One last question, sir. Over the last 2 months, given this campaign and it played out in different ways, has your equations with Mr. Siddaramaiah changed? Have you become closer friends? What is your sense of him today vis-a-vis what it was, let's say, 6 months ago?
From the day one till today, nothing has changed. Nothing will also change.
All right, nothing will change, nothing will also change. Thanks very much, sir, for speaking to us. You do believe that it's going to be a simple majority for the Congress party. It's been a hard-fought election. Let's see what finally happens. But my takeaway, Veera, from that interview, and I've been asking this question of all the political leaders we've been speaking to, is have you actually done some sort of assessment post the polls today? And if so, what are your numbers? And he seemed to suggest that a basic, you can't use the word survey, but a basic series of questions have been posed to their poll representatives and others, perhaps across the state, on the basis of which he appears to be confident. If you look at those numbers, and let's have those up full screen for just a few moments, these are three well-known, in fact, four well-known exit polls. There are several, and I want to be absolutely clear, some have suggested that the BJP will do better than the Congress party. But if you just look at these numbers now, Republic saying 94 to 108 to the Congress, then Suvarna saying 91 to 106, Times now saying no, in fact the Congress will be up to 113, TV9 saying 99 to 109. Remember, 113 is what they are looking at. Times now says 113 is what they will get. Z News at the bottom says 103 to 118. So just by and large, the numbers are more in favor of the Congress party at this juncture. Again, this can all drastically change. We want to be very clear about this. But just the last couple, News Today, India's Chanakya, today's Chanakya, saying 120 for the Congress party, India TV and CNX saying up to 120 for the Congress party, which would, and Times Now, ETG saying 113. So the BJP between largely in the 80s and the 90s, I would suggest mostly in the 90s.
Right.
Some suggest just narrowly going into the hundreds. But that's where things are right now.
Vishnu, very quickly, I just want to discuss a little bit about, because, in every poll survey, and also when you talk to the party representative as well, for the Bharatiya Janata Party, Prime Minister Narendra Modi comes as a booster dose as far as the elections are concerned. Professor Kumar, if I may start with you, this is different from the 2018 election where this was the first time that Prime Minister Narendra Modi was campaigning for an assembly election in Karnataka as the Prime Minister. There was an incumbent Congress party. Those were added advantages as far as the BJP's campaign was concerned. Is that why this is different? There is no Yadurappa on the ticket. It was only then left to the Prime Minister to pull the BJP possibly from where they were lagging behind 10 days back.
From whatever ground reports we were getting or hearing when I visited Karnataka, there was a sense that BJP is a very demoralized lot. In a sense, party workers are demoralized, and there was a perception that BJP is losing this election. I think what Prime Minister Modi's campaign has been able to do is to lift the morale of the party worker and bring at least BJP into the contest. And if we go by the exit poll assessment, I think Prime Minister Modi was able to bring BJP into the contest, and that has resulted into BJP getting somewhere in the range of 90-95 seats, what exit polls are predicting, if Prime Minister Modi had not campaigned. But there's no question of he not campaigning. He's the Prime Minister, and he has been campaigning for the party in the last so many elections. So if suppose there was for some reason he has not campaigned as aggressively as he did in Karnataka, maybe BJP's performance would have been slightly less compared to what is being expected as of now.
Jaiveer Shekhar, would you like to come in on this? I mean, for the Bharatiya Janata Party, then it becomes, one trick situation with put the Prime Minister's face and hope that things will turn around. His charisma, his popularity will pull the BJP even in difficult situations, as the BJP was in Karnataka with anti-incumbency also beating down its back.
Well, see, let's not forget one. Apart from being the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji is a true soldier, true karyakarta of the BJP who has a vision, the dream, the gumption, the aggression to expand have a BJP footprint all across India. The Prime Minister campaigned extensively in Northeast. He visited Northeast 50 times more than any other Prime Minister. Prime Minister campaigned aggressively in the North also, South also, East and West. The point is, BJP's double-engine government, as it is called, under Prime Minister's leadership, the Chief Minister's leadership, has aggressively worked for development of Karnataka. You have many number crunchers on your show. Today, Karnataka has the lowest unemployment rate, 2.4%, far below the national average. The inflation is far below the national average. Prime Minister has done 19 rallies. BJP has held 9,237 public meetings, 9,037 Nukkad Sabhas, 1,377 road shows.
Jaiveer, a quick question. A quick question. If BJP wins, who gets the victory? And if BJP loses, who is to be blamed? Because you mentioned how much Prime Minister has worked.
Listen, I'm a lawyer. I answer on facts and not fiction. BJP losing is a fiction and a daydreaming. BJP winning is a fact. So
it's
the
a fiction
entire...
at this moment as well, sir.
No. A BJP winning is a fact, I'm telling you. As always, Prime Minister works for the nation 365 days, 24/7. The BJP credit of victory goes to each and every karyakarta of the Bharatiya Janata Party, as the Prime Minister has always said.
Very good that you said you're a lawyer, not the judge. Otherwise, I would have to take that as a fact when you said the BJP winning is a fact and Congress and BJP not winning is fiction. But Veera Raghav, will the blame be then on the shoulders of Mr. Bomai?
I think if they win, it is taken away by the captain. If they lose, the poor man on the field will have to take that blame for it. But well, let's see what happens. I think really the question now is shifts focus, given the exit polls and the kind of prediction, indications that seems to be coming out, Ankit.
Sure.
The focus shifts into how this is going to play out. I mean, it's because it's a large margin that we are talking about. And we're not looking at a...
No, it is indeed a large margin. Veera Raghav, I'm just interrupting you because we do need to take a short break. We are going to come back and towards the end of this program start wrapping up what these exit polls actually do tell us and then get our expert views, and then let's wait till the 13th and hopefully we'll have a government in place after that. We don't want a hung parliament. That means a lot of work for journalists. We'll take a short break. More coming up.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
Gadget 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs. Gadget 360, Gadget Love. Gadget 360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with my guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadget 360.
20 years since we started, this music has been written. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
In a deeply polarized world, where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse. We take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense-paid holiday for two to the luxurious Alila Fort, Bishangarh, Rajasthan. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebrations.
Congress people have been perpetrating the PFI and organizations like that. कर्नाटक की सरकार ने पिछले 3 साल में क्या किया, उसके बारे में प्रधानमंत्री एक शब्द नहीं बोलते.
This time, BJP is going to come back with thumping majority in spite of some leaders leaving the party.
प्रदेश की बीजेपी सरकार है, वो 40% सरकारा के नाम से प्रसिद्ध हुई है.
Unnecessarily, these Congress people charging corruption charges.
A BJP manifesto has completely failed.
I am also an aspirant for the Chief Minister post. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar is also an aspirant.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that inform.
Watching the Karnataka exit polls, and we are now going to start the process of wrapping up just what's been a very interesting evening, no doubt. In case you've just joined us, let's have these numbers up full screen. I'm not going to read out all of the exit polls because frankly there are quite a few of them. But by and large, it now does appear that the ABP, India Today and India TV CNX suggesting Congress between 100 and 112, so within striking range there, or India Today saying between 122 and 140, so that's a sweep over there. India TV CNX saying 110 to 120. Again,
News 24 also 120 for the Congress.
Oh, that's right, right. And that's India. So, Sanjay, my question to you, in looking at these numbers, how is it that some have got it completely the other way, and how do we as readers, viewers, and journalists sort of assess exit polls on the basis of these numbers?
I think we have to look at our electoral system, which we keep talking, which we keep talking about, first past the post system. Karnataka is a unique example. If you look at last many assembly elections, the party which gets more vote share, which is the Congress, have mostly got less number of seats. Look at the recently held election in Himachal. What happened? The vote share difference between Congress and BJP is very less. Look at the seat share difference, huge. Something of that kind seems to be happening in Karnataka also. My own sense is that while we don't have good sense of the vote share estimate of all the exit polls, but my own sense is that the gap between Congress and BJP in terms of vote share is sizable. When I say sizable, it should be about at least more than 5%, 5 to 6 to 7%. And the seat share conversion, which all these exit polls are doing differently. Some pollsters are playing safe, they are being conservative, and some are playing like T20 match. Hit karo, agar lag gaya to achhi baat hai.
Let's just start. Dr. Priyam, the surveys are now out. Of course, the actual result would be on the 13th. What would you, one key thing that you would be looking out from these surveys, and what would you be watching out when 13th comes as one key factor of swinging this result one way or the other?
So, as my dear friend and senior colleague Professor Sanjay has already told us, the first thing is, don't believe the numbers and distinguish between the numbers. The vote percentages may be right, but the vote to seat projections leave everything to imagination.
Right.
So I would still look at the results, and as the results come out, I will have a childlike anxiety to see which one of those candidates. You remember when you follow a game, you try and follow a team. So which one of those that you thought, and you'd hedged your bets with, how well are they doing, how badly are they doing. Certainly for me, as an outsider, when I go to Bangalore and to Old Mysuru, my research area, these will be my two areas that I will look out for.
Match what you sort of had in terms of your own research, in your mind, your own analysis. Do any of these conform to what you believe would be? I'm asking you basically what you...
So I would say that I had thought the Congress will do well, which a lot of them are saying. I had thought the JDS will do slightly better than this. So, and that may be because, I'm just so heavily stuck with the Old Mysuru region that that's the area that kind of rings with me. I understand a lot of it very much. I understand the politics of reservations a lot more than a lot of us around. But the one thing that I wanted to add for a long time, I haven't heard the words or the names respected Shri B.L. Santosh, respected Shri C.T. Ravi. Now, this respected Shri Prahlad Joshi ji, this was a hand-picked team that the Prime Minister has had. Mr. Basaraj Bommai, a man from their own chosen team. So I would say from the word go, this has been an election that's been run by the BJP at the center. It's a new BJP in Karnataka. And let's not change the question by saying, okay, we had a topping on the cake and that's how it changed. If you ask that question, then I'm going to ask my esteemed professors, who I respect very much, to do a geographical correlations between how many rallies in which areas and how's the BJP performing in those areas.
Shugati had a point to make, go ahead.
Out for.
No, Vishnu, my point is that this particular, if the results are, if the exit numbers are correct, then it breaks a pattern, which is Congress has always done well or come to power, say 89, 99 or 2013, only when the opposition is splintered. 89, it was the Janata Dal splintering, 99 again Janata Dal splintering, and 2013 it was the BJP splintering. Now in 2023, no such situation exists, so something has basically altered, something has basically changed. And the other point is that the Congress should be getting anywhere around 42% to claim those numbers. Otherwise, I don't think those numbers are correct.
I think quick point here.
Yeah, go ahead, Veera.
To Manisha as well. Manisha, I get your point of the campaign being run by Delhi, but would you agree that the campaign, while Delhi wanted to run the campaign, and I mean, since the time Yediyurappa was asked to step down, that was a decision perhaps from Delhi. Since then, there has been 2 steps front, 1 step back. It was not entirely run, because when you talk to some of the people on the ground, they say a lot of Yediyurappa's candidates have been accommodated in this whole process. So perhaps it was not entirely run by one set. Was that really the conflict within the BJP?
No, I'm saying, I'm in fact not talking of a conflict. I'm saying there was a highly aligned central party of the BJP. Remember the tickets. Remember when the Shettar issue happens, it's raised, it comes back to Delhi. Now we didn't see that culture before. So all that was happening here. I also saw the fact that when the ticket distributions happened, BJP was one of the last to announce the tickets. So good, any national party would want to run from wherever they want to. But I saw it as a highly aligned process, and to that extent, all the benefits of having a good central party organization.
There is one very important update which is coming in at this moment. The provisional voter turnout numbers are out. 72%, just 0.5 than last, but I think there will be an addition of at least 2-3% in this as well.
So
because,
basically it's the same as last time.
No, it will go further. It will go further up, Vishnu.
Yeah, it will be 2-3% more, not very significantly, but it will go slightly up, because there have been voters those who have been inside the polling booth post 6 p.m. as well.
Postal ballots also.
Postal ballots, Amita, but we were talking about some Sugata was saying something has changed. Is that change the kind of campaign that we saw the Congress running, a hyper-local campaign, that possibly has clicked more because it was an assembly election, not a national Narendra Modi election that the BJP then tried to make it?
See, Congress has learned its lessons from the 2018 victories. Only 3 states Congress has defeated BJP plus Himachal again. No CM candidate, tight ticket distribution, local campaigns, don't attack Modi. Only in the last they have deviated. If you see an average of the midpoint of the numbers you are showing, 109 is Congress, 91 is BJP, and 24 odd is JDS. Now I have the caste-wise support numbers of Axis which we were discussing. 88% Muslim vote for Congress. I have not seen 60 to 65% more than that. If the numbers are true, then there is a massive minority consolidation. Vocaliga stays with JDS 46%, but BJP is the number 2 party with 25% support of Vocaligas, and Congress is now 24. And amongst Lingayats, BJP continues to be a dominant player with 64% voting.
Is that a reduction?
Male, female,
on the basis of people like Shetter and all leaving?
Yeah, then not major
Not
impact,
much,
it
yeah.
seems.
Not major.
And male, female, Congress has a bigger lead amongst the females versus males, while it's opposite.
So that means the cylinder campaign.
Yes, which
the,
means
the Graha
local
Lakshmi scheme.
campaigns.
All those schemes
Yes.
have worked with the women. It has
Five guarantees seems to have worked, and the price rise, the LPG cylinders
Yes.
promise seems to have worked with the women.
Okay, Professor Gowda, if I may also bring you in, for your final comments, does that somehow mean that, the entire, Bajrang Bali issue that people were talking about, somehow, as, we were discussing it earlier, it doesn't seem to be something which the Congress did mention it by mistake, possibly something that the Congress did by design, that they wanted the minority vote to consolidate behind them, not get fragmented with the JDS and the SDPI in the coastal regions?
Yes, I mean, this was my reading as soon as I heard about it. If you recall the last time, its predecessor claim was JDS was the B team of the BJP being said by Rahul Gandhi. And that actually hurt JDS's chances even against the BJP in many seats, which was expected this time to make Muslims do strategic voting, which they may have done. We'll have to see. We'll really have to see till the results come out. But in case they have consolidated behind the Congress, I think the chances of voters to shape political party cultures, is lost. I feel the JDS will feel a lot more, lot less constrained to go with the BJP now or in the future if it knows that we can never count on the support of Muslims, and that's bad news for how to work.
What does that mean, Chandan? Quick question, if these results hold, and yes, there's a big if these results hold, and I'm talking of the upper extreme for the Congress, to both Chandan and Sugata, does that mean that we are looking tactically at Karnataka heading towards becoming a 2-party state, rather than that of a triangular state, or at least two-way fight state?
Yes,
JDS is survival.
That's a very real possibility, and we'll know it soon enough, since the Lok Sabha elections are a year away from now. Although I'd still like to think that Mamata Banerjee and KCR and Janata Dal has expressed support for a left-front government. It's supporting CPM in 4 constituencies. All of these are factors that will continue to not allow it to align with the BJP that easily. But there is Deve Gowda and there's HD Kumaraswamy, which we believe there is a difference in how they think about aligning with the BJP. But the bigger question is important, Veera. This could mean that, and many people said a full majority of a Congress means BJP is happy that the polarization scenario is actually close at hand, and JDS might get absorbed because it can't sustain itself for long the way it is.
Okay.
But I would still hold off on any sense of pessimism setting in.
You still have
Okay, Chandan, I just wanted to quickly go across to Sugata. How is this entire battle between DK Shiv Kumar and Siddaramaiah going to play out? Because frankly, that's the next battle at this stage, it appears.
No, they have not been the greatest of friends, certainly, and the Congress has been staging a lot of, they're trying to harmonize
together and
camaraderie,
and they're both sitting
together and discussing strategy. So they have sort of gone an extra mile to demonstrate that these two people are willing and are going to work together. They've reconciled the differences. But personally, I feel the last ball will be bowled by Kharge.
Right.
Yeah. He is the third most important factor in the Congress game, and I think I don't think we should take our eyes off Kharge.
And
the last thing that the Congress would want is more infighting. We're seeing plenty of that at this stage.
No,
even in an hour of victory,
seniority.
if we are to see that sort of situation, Kharge's wishes will have to be respected. The question is, will
Vishnu, I think Kolar was a classic example of the internal dynamics there. That Siddaramaiah wanted a second seat and he was denied that. Since he came into the party, he has had an aggressive growth path. The old guard was sidelined. I don't think the old guard is going to sit down and look at Siddaramaiah alone at this time. If these numbers hold. And
so there's a dark horse, is that what you're suggesting?
Sorry, there is going to be a tussle for it, and I think it's going to be a delicate issue.
I also would like to look at Varuna very closely. What's going to happen in Varuna? Siddaramaiah is never known for winning with a very big margin. So I would like to focus on Varuna on the 13th.
We could see another rotational CM promise by the Gandhi family.
I don't think so.
I don't think which may not be fulfilled again.
But they have paid heavy price for that promise. They have been too much more. Rajasthan already still feeling the singe of that.
Siddaramaiah is way too popular. 40% versus 4%. Your survey showed way too popular.
That's true. That is true. Go ahead, Veera.
I'll just put a proposition quickly to you, Vishnu, as well as Sugata and Ankit, and tell me if this is right. If the numbers are closer to 112, then there is a greater chance for DK Shivkumar to hold the fort. If the numbers are closer to 140, then it's anybody's game. Would you agree?
I don't think Siddaramaiah would be willing to give that up one way or the other.
Professor Kumar.
If the Congress is coming to winning these elections.
These numbers
stick to numbers.
I think DK Shivkumar will probably be on the back foot.
You have inside stories, I don't have.
Professor Kumar will stick to numbers. Nothing on that. But
Professor Kumar has the secret story on that as well.
Sugata, if you want to take that. If the numbers are closer to the majority, advantage DK Shivkumar.
No, I will still say Kharge is the final authority on that.
All right. Okay, fair enough. So let's see what finally does take place.
Can I just ask one question? Manisha Priyam and Professor Kumar, you can take this as well. It's always, largely useless to try and extrapolate these numbers and their impact on the national election. But it's an important narrative that will start building up from here on. Manisha Priyam, to begin with you, does this mean if the Congress wins, the elusive opposition unity will become more difficult because the Congress suddenly will go with much more bargaining power and much more confidence as far as
remember, I mean, just as he said, Kharge, watch each of Kharge's steps. He goes to meet Nitish Kumar. What does Nitish Kumar talk about? Caste census. So when I said at the opening that for the opposition in India, especially what you call the regional parties, which are splinter groups of the erstwhile Janata Parivar or of the socialists, they are watching this very keenly, and therefore the JDS doing well in the old Mysuru region is very important to them. That the issue of caste-based census is the only way, the old Mandal way, in which they can counter this narrative of Hindutva plus development with which the BJP now has a pan-India presence, and they can reinvent themselves as regional state-level parties, state identities, and have an issue-based agenda in Mandal and developmentalism. So Karnataka is being looked at by all of North India very carefully, and for opposition unity, Congress will take second seat, and these coalition of leaders might turn out somewhere at the front.
But will they, Professor Kumar, if any, what is the impact?
I think either way it's going to be difficult to achieve a opposition unity if Congress does well, and if these exit polls, the indication of the exit poll is that Congress is forming the government, Congress will take a much firmer position. Congress will not be willing to budge to the regional parties, and suppose Congress doesn't perform well, then it will be more untouchable, it will become more untouchable for the strong regional parties. So opposition unity is going to be very, very difficult either way, whether Congress wins or loses these elections.
Because not only just the the parties involved in this game, the BJP, Congress and the JDS, for others like Mamata Banerjee or the Aam Aadmi Party, all of them would also be looking at very keenly with what happens in Karnataka for more than one reason.
Opposition is already fairly united, I would say.
All right, I need to start wrapping this up.
Opposition is already fairly united.
Sure.
Where Congress is weak in the Hindi heartland, the regional parties are strong, and where Congress and BJP have one-to-one contest, the regional parties have no room. So it's already fairly united.
Professor Kumar, one final question. So I think a lot of our viewers would want to know, 13th, of course, results. By what time will we know?
What time? I don't think before 1 p.m.
All right. And it would start with postal ballots first?
Normally, that's the process of counting.
And an interpretation of postal ballots inevitably goes wrong, right? Because it is not representative of what the true results are or where the trends are.
I think the fault are ours because we start doing over-interpretation of the postal ballot. And extrapolating those trends from the postal ballot as if this is going to be the result.
True.
So we have to be cautious. We have to be a little cool and calm in the initial few hours of counting.
Okay, Veeraraghav, over to you.
If the numbers are at the extreme end that has been predicted, that's on the upper end for the Congress, then I think we can all have Uta by 2 o'clock. I think you'll have clarity. If they are on the bottom end, then I think for the next 5 years, we'll have to keep watching out what's the next story that's breaking in the country.
And if they don't hold and if there is a hung house, then Veeraraghav and I are standing at somebody's house in Bengaluru to decide who's going out which resort. Anyway, all that for 13th.
Yeah, now enough. No more questions now, my friend. We need to wrap this up because we've got a lot more to talk about on the 13th. It's going to be fast. It's going to be pacey. We never stop. I mean, just looking at the magic of our electronic voting machines and how they've transformed our lives, our democracy, our elections, and the fact that we do this faster than possibly any other country in the world, and the magic of Indian democracy, the speed and the results and what it means for millions of people, that all starts coming together on the 13th. It is just magic. We leave it over there. Thanks very much for being with us. From all of us here, good night.